Welcome to Coronavirus, the MS movie. This is actually a sequel to a movie that I've already made called Coronavirus, the movie. This is the MS version of Coronavirus, the movie. Now, you might be saying, doesn't a movie need a producer? Well, you're looking at him. What about a director? Hey, that's me. But actors? Starring yours truly. Yes, I'm directing myself. What about a plot and a script? Well, this is an improv script, and I'm not sure where it's going, so I don't know what the plot will be. But I do know this is going to be about me in my MS and coronavirus, all in the title of the movie. Coronavirus, the MS movie. Ooh. Now, I'm not a professional producer, director, actor. I am a writer, but I write mostly business documents. But I was a freelance journalist for 15 years. Never written a movie script before and haven't done any improv other than Coronavirus, the movie, which I confess is pretty blah, I suppose we would say. Let's see what happens here. My name is Paul Lima. You can read more about me at paullima.com, paullima.com. As you can tell by the title of this movie, I, like you, like pretty much everybody, am living in the pandemic time of coronavirus. I also have MS. Now, I've had MS for 20 years. First 15 years, I had, it's called recurring remitting MS, RRMS. I now have what would be labeled secondary progressive. So the first 15 years, the hits would come and they would go. I was basically able to function okay most of the time. Worked as a writer, trainer. I mean, when you're hit as a hit to the taste buds, for about 6 months, everything I put in my mouth tasted like crap. Even a glass of water. Oh, where'd this come from? The swamp? Tasted like crap. But I could function. I could write. I could train. Now, when I had fatigue, it was a little more difficult to function, but I did a few training gigs while suffering from fatigue. I would sit on my own during the coffee break and lunch and close my eyes and hope I'd come to in time to continue the training, do half day or full day training sessions. I think adrenaline kind of kicked in when I had training. And I would train, be tired, but be able to make it through the half day or full day. Get home and pass out for 2 hours. When you have a hit to an eye, optic neurosis, I believe it's called, which I've had several times. One point when I'd look at you or I'd be driving the car and look at where the stop sign should be, there'd be a black dot. Your face would be blacked out or the stop sign would be blacked out. So I stopped driving because I didn't think I should be driving, but I could still write, work on my computer. You turn your head slightly to the right, could interact with people. Again, turn your head so you could see their face. I could train as well. So for 15 years, that was my MS life. There would be times when I'd really have to take it easy, but a lot of time when things would be going okay or the MS hits weren't interfering with life, work, life, etc. I have a wife, a daughter, a dog, uh, and we did okay as a family. Could walk the dog most afternoons after finishing my writing or when I got home from my training. Did okay. Secondary progressive MS, which I have now, is different. I'd say I have headaches, but plural would be wrong. 5, maybe it's almost 6 years ago, I came down with a headache on a scale of 1 to 10. This had like an 18 or 20, literally knocked me on my butt. Uh, my wife was going to take me into emergency, but I said, I can't get up off the floor. Literally, I was on the floor. We had to call an ambulance. Ironically, they couldn't. We living on the second floor. They couldn't bring me down the steps in the gurney. Um, so they helped me come down with an ambulance attendant in front of me and one behind me on my butt down the steps. Then they put me on the gurney into the ambulance, took me to the hospital. Now the strange thing about MS is sometimes your symptoms don't seem like MS symptoms. There are so many MS symptoms. Uh, my doctor, when I finally left Emerge and got to see my doctor a few days later, the Emerge people thought I was suffering from vertigo. And so my GP made an appointment with me to see an ear specialist who did the ear test. I don't know if you've ever been tested for vertigo. They put some cold drops on my ear. I freaked out. I thought, oh my God, I must have vertigo. And the doctor said, no, that's the way you react when you don't have vertigo. So it was like, oh my God, this is MS. The headache, and I use the singular because I've had it now for almost 6 years, has diminished from an 18-20 down to a 10, down to a 5. Now it oscillates between a 4 and 6, 7. Sometimes I'm really tired. My head throbs. I have difficulty focusing. We have friends over for dinner. Not now, because we're living in the day of coronavirus, so friends don't come over. But before coronavirus, friends would come over, and they understood if I'd have to sit on the couch and close my eyes for a bit. So MS, 20 years, okay, hit and miss for 15 years. Now feeling like crap for the last 5 or 6 years. With this headache, with recurring remitting MS, the hits come, the hits go. Taste bud thing lasted 6 months. Fatigue on occasion, that was over about a period of 2 years. The eye thing lasted about 3 months. Had another eye thing, lasted like maybe about 3 weeks. Pins and needles sensation would come and go. This headache has not diminished over 5 or 6 years. It has diminished in intensity, but it has not gone away. And now my legs feel kind of leaden, I suppose, would be the best word to describe it. Still able to walk my dog. I sit down and rest maybe every 15, 20, 25 minutes. The irony is the dog is now going on 6.5 years old. When he was a puppy, if I had to sit down, he would be chomping at the bit to get going. Let's get to the dog park. I want to play with my buddies. Now sometimes I sit down on a retaining wall and he'll jump up and lie down on the grass. And after 4 or 5 minutes, I'm ready to go. And he looks at me like, oh, I'm enjoying this sit. He's still there. And I guess the grass is cool on his belly. And so we sit for a little while longer and then we carry on. But anyway, is there a theme? Most movies have a plot, a theme. I don't know that I have one for coronavirus, the MS movie. I suppose if I do, if I were to get introspective and make a suggestion for anybody who has MS and may be watching this, the thing you want to do while you are suffering from MS, and we do suffer from MS, is to keep on doing what you can do. In other words, I can make this silly movie, so I am making this silly movie. I would say that's applicable for coronavirus as well. What can you do? Now, You can't do anything interpersonal because you're supposed to stay 6 feet away from people. And you really aren't supposed to have more than 3 or 4 people in a 6 foot distance. And I would suggest even that really shouldn't happen. Um, so, can you make a video? Can you make your equivalent of coronavirus, the MS movie? Now, I hear you say, well, you're making the MS movie. What would I do? What are your hobbies, passions, interests? Can you convey that information in a blog, in a video blog, which this movie really is, to others? Are you on Facebook? There are a number of MS groups on Facebook. I will be sharing this movie with them, asking them for feedback if they want to comment on my movie. So if you want to comment on my movie, you can send an email to paullima.com@gmail.com. Now you're saying, hey, that went by really quickly. Let me spell it out for you. Paul Lima, paullima.com@gmail.com. If that went by quickly for you, here is my email address so you can see it. paullima.com@gmail.com. paullima.com@gmail.com. Feel free to give me feedback on coronavirus, the MS movie. I still have a website, as you can see, even though I have MS. Let me see if I can make this a bit smaller. There we go. So at paullima.com. I do business writing training, not in person anymore. I couldn't stand up to do a full day, half day, even a 1 hour workshop. But I conduct the occasional webinar, so it's something I can do. I have created a number of video blogs. If you go to paullima.com/MS, you will see my other MS video blogs. You will see I have some what are called pay what you can video blogs or webinars. During this time of coronavirus, if you actually see a webinar, they're all about writing, that you're interested in, feel free to take it and ignore my exhortation, I believe is the word. Hell, I'm a writer. I don't even know how to pronounce certain words. Feel free to ignore my pleas for pay what you can. Take them for free. Free in terms of money and guilt-free. I am giving away my pay what you can webinars, except for the 5-lecture Udemy email writing webinar. That's because a third party is hosting it and charges for it. I also do one-on-one Skype and phone training. Again, typically I charge for this. How to become a better writer, how to find and price corporate writing and editing, design, training services, how to write a nonfiction book, which I have a webinar on that you can take for free, how to write speeches and presentations. If you actually wanted to do a one-on-one training session, about an hour long, email paullima.com@gmail.com and we'll set something up. No charge. Hey, I'm 65, I'm on government pension. I know the world is basically not making any money. So these are things I can do. I mentioned the pay what you can writing webinars, consider them free. I have some e-courses. If you want to take a full e-course, I would have to charge you for that just because of the sheer amount of work involved. But I am cutting my fees in half for e-courses. I have freelance writing that I still write on my website, but the fact is, I find it difficult to write with the MS headaches. Something would really have to interest me. Also, if you were self-publishing a book, I am a self-publishing book consultant. Again, that would have to be fee-based, but I am discounting my prices greatly. But if you're thinking, oh, you're doing this to sell the services, no. Basically, if you find any of my webinars, which are pay what you can, of interest, take them for free. In addition, I have written 22 books, and I'm not going to go over all the books. Go to paullima.com/books, and you can read. Most of them are on writing, various aspects of writing, or on becoming a freelance writer. I do have one book of short stories called Rebel in the Backseat. So if you're looking for something to read, including everything you need to know about multiple sclerosis, while I can't afford to give you the print copy of any of these books, I have all of them as PDFs. And again, not trying to sell you a damn thing. If you want the PDF, it's no charge. So go to paullima.com/books, take a look at the books that I've written. If there's anything that you want, email paullima.com@gmail.com, put the book title and the word PDF in the subject line, send it to me, and I will send you a free copy of the book. So what about you? What are you supposed to do when dealing with the self-isolation of coronavirus, and if you have MS, dealing with that? I don't have the answer for anybody, or perhaps even most people. All I can say is find your passion, your interest, your hobbies, and see if you can share information with others, be it through a blog, chat on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, you can go Facebook Live and invite people to come to your talk. If you're saying, well, Paul, I can't create a video like you're doing here. Actually, you can. It's really easy. I'm using a free application from Loom, LOOM.com. You download Loom. You can see the settings here. I can pause this. I can stop it. And Loom will then turn my screen and my voice into a video that I upload to YouTube. So I have a YouTube account, really easy to set up. So if you wanted to make a movie, and this does not have high production values, as you can see, you can use loom.com to make a movie. You see my face over here? I can enlarge it and fill the screen. Let's see if I can do that. Oh, what do you know? Okay, I can't enlarge it and fill the screen. But if I were just starting this movie and wanted my face to be full screen, so you see nothing but me instead of my wonderful graphics, I could do that. My face could be full screen. But I've got this lovely title, Coronavirus, the MS movie, and want to jump around a little bit on the web. If you are on Facebook and you're watching this and you want to friend me, feel free to send me a friend request and I will friend you. Or if you have MS and you're on Facebook, join some of the MS forums. Really good chit chat about medication, about symptoms, about how people are dealing with various symptoms, about what people are doing with their MS. So what else do I have to say to complete Coronavirus, the MS movie? Let me think for a second. What I wanted to do was show you my other video blog. So right now I'm at paullima.com/MS, You may be able to see it up here. These are free. Beginner's Guide to MS. I've written a book about MS. I've had MS for 20 plus years. I've done a lot of research. So I have created a beginner's guide to MS. Getting old sucks, especially when compounded with MS. Like I say, I'm 65. Mentally, I feel like I'm still 18, but physically, between the MS and the age, I can feel my body deteriorating, I suppose is the word. So I have a video blog, Getting Old Sucks, especially when compounded with MS. Also have a podcast if you want to just listen to it instead of see it. Uh, Almost everything you need to know about MS, another video blog. Me and my MS, where I talk more about me and what my MS has meant to me and how it has manifested itself. MS and Nothing. If you don't want to see a sick man blubber, skip this video. But if you want to see how a sick man makes something of his illness, watch it. I confess, in MS and Nothingness, I got a tad emotional and lost it. I suspect anybody who has MS gets a tad emotional at times. Maybe it depends on how long you've had it, what your symptoms are. I lost it. So I encourage you to watch MS and Nothingness to see me lose it on camera. The emotional evolution of an MS warrior. Those of you in particular who are new to MS, I don't know if this will speed your emotional evolution, but it's what I've gone through, how I moved from anger and depression to acceptance of what I have. It's not to say I haven't moved from anger and depression to happiness with what I have. I will never be happy about this thing, but I have accepted it, that it is part of me. So the emotional evolution of an MS warrior. Assisted suicide. Are you for it or against it? Spoiler alert, I'm for it. Hey, I don't want to kill myself or have a doctor help me disappear anytime soon, but I'm just being realistic. I suspect I will get to a point where I can't walk, I can't crawl, I can't move. I am mentally incompetent. And at that point, well, watch the video, Assisted Suicide, Are You For It, Against It, or listen to the podcast, and you will see what my take on it is. As I said, I have a book, Everything You Need to Know About Multiple Sclerosis. If you email msandmebook@gmail.com, slightly different email address, or the other one, put MS Book PDF in the title, in the subject line. I don't care which email address you use, I will send you the book. I've got a free video in which I promote my books and how to develop your business vision. Wow. I think this free webinar is something anybody who runs their own business should watch. However, in this day of coronavirus, I think it would be fairly difficult to launch a business. But if you're trying to figure out what you're going to do with your time in this time of coronavirus and in this time of MS, you might find how to develop your business vision of use. You may want to, as you're watching it, change some of the content to make it more applicable to you, but I think you will find it of use. And then, as I said, I have a whole lot of pay what you can webinars on various aspects of writing. They are free. So if you go to paullima.com/MS, you can watch them or listen to my podcast. So what else do I have to say in Coronavirus, the MS movie? Let's think about it for a moment. I really don't have much more to say, but right now what you're seeing is my Facebook homepage. About 7 years ago, before I entered the second stage of MS, my wife and I took a riverboat cruise to Europe, Viking riverboat cruise, the Grand European. That's the boat, about 180 people on it. So it's not one of these huge boats with 5,000 people. The food was excellent. It was a 3 week cruise. That includes a bit of a bus trip at the end of the cruise to Prague. We went from Amsterdam to Prague. I couldn't do it today. And we're in the day of coronavirus, so I'm sure these boats are not floating. But when this freaking virus pandemic ends, whether you have MS or not, if you have MS, if you're healthy enough to take a riverboat cruise after this pandemic ends, do yourself a favor and take one. The cruise was exceptionally well organized, the food was excellent, and the sights were terrific. So for me, it was a once in a lifetime thing. The irony is, met people on the riverboat cruise. It was their fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th cruise. Some of them did big boat cruises. Some of them did various riverboat cruises to different places. They were retired and they spent their life cruising. Cool. We really enjoyed it. Couldn't afford to do it again. Now with this stupid MS in the second stage, not physically well enough to do it again, but it was a terrific cruise. So if you can do a Viking riverboat cruise when this coronavirus thing ends, consider taking one. They're not cheap, but it was worth every friggin' penny spent. It was just so nice to get away, I want to say from myself, and to be someplace other, to have people prepare meals for you, take you on tours of great European cities, whole sections of the cities, and that. Um, Erling, who said, lovely trip with great company. He's somebody we met on the cruise, Erling and his wife, and we're now friends on Facebook. So you'll meet great people and you will have a great time. But you got to wait till the freaking coronavirus thing ends. Yes, you have to wait until coronavirus ends. Hence the name of my movie, Coronavirus, the MS movie. And I know some of you with MS have it worse than I have. Two acquaintances within the last year both had MS, had primary progressive MS. Both have passed away. They couldn't cruise. Um, they were both in wheelchairs. But sometimes when I would go to my MS group meeting, which I go to every second week, although now with coronavirus, we're doing it online, I'd leave the meeting and this one guy, Mick, and you'll excuse me, my 4 letter word, but Mick had an expression, fuck MS. We lived in the same direction from the meeting, but he'd head off in one direction as I would head off to go home. Where was he going? To the beer store. Now, Mick was not an alcoholic, but he enjoyed the occasional beer, and after the meeting, which was every 2 weeks, he'd go get himself a 6 pack. So 6 beers every 2 weeks, not bad. That's what he would do. He would do what he could do. And I suppose if there is a theme to coronavirus, the MS movie, it is ask yourself, what can I do And of all the things I can do, what do I want to do? What will I do? How do I do it? And then do it. Somebody posted on Facebook, this made me laugh. I didn't think I had time to clean the house. For years, I didn't think I had time to clean the house. Now that coronavirus has hit and I'm at home, I know time was not the issue. I don't want to clean the house. So I'm not saying do everything you can do. I am saying figure out what you can do, figure out how you can do it, and then do it. I'm not saying what you do has to be like this, my video. Can you read a book? Get good books and read them. Can you watch good TV or movies? I know good is subjective. Spend some time watching some good stuff. There's a lot of material that's streaming these days. Find some good stuff to watch. So, reading, watching, blogging, talking to people, chatting with them on Facebook, making videos if you can. I walk the dog. Maybe you don't have a dog, but if you can get out, if you're mobile, staying 6 feet away from people because of coronavirus. Yes, every once in a while we have to go back to coronavirus. This is coronavirus, the MS movie. Go out for walks, especially now that the spring is sprung, the weather's getting nicer. So if you can walk, if you are mobile, get out of the house. I mean, what are your options? You can sit on your butt, curl up in a ball, and disappear into yourself. And hey, if you choose to do that, I'm not judging you. Sometimes that's all we can do. Sometimes that's all we want to do. That's one option. There are other options. So do yourself a favor. If you have one takeaway from coronavirus, the MS movie, it's this. Make a list of everything you can do. And if you want to put curl up in a ball on the couch on your list, put that on there. But make as comprehensive a list as possible. And then every morning when you wake up, look at your list and say, what will I do today? What is your equivalent of coronavirus, the MS movie? Figure that out. That's what you will do. Don't let this virus, don't let your MS take your life away from you prematurely. I know if you have MS, you don't necessarily die before people who don't have MS do. Maybe a few years, but it wears you down, especially those of you who have primary progressive MS. But until you're worn down to a nub of nothing, do what you can do. Same with coronavirus. We're self-isolating. If you live on your own, you're not seeing people. You have to determine what you want to do, can do, and will do. Nobody's going to determine it for you. Nobody has told me to make MS the movie. I have figured out this is something I can do. This is something I want to do. Hey, maybe only 5 or 6 people will watch it. I don't care. Do I want it to become a blockbuster like the movie Titanic? Of course I do. Will it? Of course not. Just like my books. Do I want to sell Harry Potter numbers? Of course I do. But I have managed to sell something like 20,000 books over the last, 10 years. That's not bad. Maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe a dozen, maybe even 2 dozen people will watch the MS movie. That's great. If I motivate a half a dozen people to find their passion their interests, what they can do in this time of coronavirus while dealing with their MS. If I motivate even one freaking person to take a step forward, that will make me a happy man. So if MS the movie has inspired you to try anything, feel free to email me, paullima.com@gmail.com, and let me know. Because if you let me know that you will have made me a happier person. Thanks for watching Coronavirus, the MS movie. I'm going to stop it now by clicking on this orange box. Loom.com will convert it into a movie which I can download, and then I can upload it to YouTube and share it with the world. Well, the world won't watch it, but share it with at least a few people who have MS. Hey, thank you very much for watching. Have as great a day as you can have with your MS in this pandemic time of coronavirus. Have a good day. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. Bye now.